Okay, so wasn't there something where, who is charged with, well, she's trespassed from the Harris County Humane Society, correct? And hasn't she attacked at least one employee from the shelter? Now, if, and I do mean if, this was years ago when she was pretending to be nice and tame and, well, I don't know, whatever she could pretend to be. And if, and I do mean if, ATN was there, I do believe that it was in her and his it was in their heart to do the right thing to help animals. What is the truth is something way different. And once Etienne was not there to care for her, the house, the yard, him keep a job to keep up with her endless spending, her going and continuing to for her addictions, then there wasn't a stable home for anybody, including animals. So I know that she fostered animals, but I also know that we have video of her repeatedly kicking and punching, closed hand punching her dog that she claims is everything to her, that she claims is a service dog that is not, that she claims she bought for how much money that she didn't. All of the lies, and that she leaves them alone for extended periods of time with a big bowl of water and food, which is not any way to care for animals. We have shown her hitting them. We have shown her acting absolutely insane around the animals. So what I can say is that perhaps there was a time with Etienne when they were able to help animals, but when he wasn't there, we have a pretty good idea of what was happening. And if the Humane Society trespassed her, and all of the stories out there as to why she trespassed them, and she just recently allegedly assaulted one, this fundraiser that she had, that she was the beneficiary of said money, makes me wonder. So $650 was raised. This was 2 years ago. And an anonymous person put 500, and then one person put 50, and then two more anonymous put 50. So that gives you the 650. So what we have here is little Shelly organizing this. And Michelle Lola Montez Sabate, she says it 2 different ways, is organizing this fundraiser. And it says, "Hi, my name is Michelle. I've always been an animal advocate. I've donated timeless energy into fostering dogs for the Harris County Humane Society. I was referred to as the dog whisperer, jokingly. I just have a way with pets." Yeah, we saw when you open-handedly punched and kicked Jake repeatedly, time after time. And your dogs are so incredibly starved for attention. It's so sad to see them. And then when they're all over you for the cameras, and just like children, when people film children and their children are just absolutely screaming and climbing the mother and whatnot, you know that she's putting the camera on to make it look like she's a good and attentive mother, but the truth is something different, because when you see content children, you know that there's a content household. And the same goes for animals. Animals who are content do not climb all over you, literally climb all over. And then when she was saying they were all trained to be her stroke dogs and everything else, and it's like, it's not true. None of it's true. None of it's true. So what do we have here? We have Let me see. Her saying she just has a way with pets. And it's all bullshit. It's all lies. It's all lies with her. I recently ran across a disturbing post by the head of the Humane Society about some pups that people have been calling animal control about. She said in several posts to not feed these animals, that they were feral. And then animal control has set traps. This was very confusing to me, as there are never traps set up to my knowledge in the existence of the society. We've been warned. Walking dogs about for real feral dogs and to take precautions and carry mace. I carry pew-pews and mace, but after days of posts from distressed people, I went to check it out! Exclamation mark. There are, in fact, no traps set. The director of the Humane Society was instructing people to starve these puppies, essentially turning them into coyote bait. Well, the Humane Society in itself does phenomenal work and are mostly dependent on volunteers. The thing that most disturbs me is blatant lies told to us daily by social media postesses. You do not pick and choose what dogs should live or die! Exclamation point. They all deserve a fighting chance. Okay. It's been my experience that, and I'm not saying this, I'm just saying that it's been my experience that addicts, not the kind in the house with bats, but addicts, people with problems with narcotics, sadly volunteer at animal shelters because there are dogs that need at-home pills. At-home pills. And sadly, people will go there to steal those pills from themselves and not give it to an animal in pain. The fees I'm asking for are for the sponsored adoptions of these 4 precious babies. There are 3 more. Yes, 7 pups and a hound. Their adoption fees will be $125 each. If these funds are met, Animal Control has no choice but to vet, spay, neuter, microchip, and adopt these dogs out for free to a loving and caring home. They have no choice. I'm doing this for free. I do not need a cent. My only care is that these dogs are saved before they do become feral. Okay, so she is saying that what she's implying is that she would pay the adoption fees out of the money that she collects. So she is saying that, well, the Humane Society is saying, hey, look, there's some dogs out there that may be dangerous. We can't get control of them. We've set traps to get them in, and we are waiting. Be careful with your other dogs because these dogs could attack. The Humane Society does not have them, right? Because it's looking like, I don't know. Because she's saying that she would keep the money, and then when those dogs are caught by the Humane Society, then their adoption fees would all be paid, and so each of those dogs would get homes. Well, if each of those dogs had the possibility of getting a home right now, why wouldn't people be signing up to just go and get them? And quite frankly, the Humane Society may get these dogs, test them, and they may not be deemed as adoptable. And there's not a lot of homes that could, even if you were a person in a position who could take an animal that is deemed not adoptable, you could never have them around a child, and you'd have to be very careful yourself and make sure that no other human comes by, mailman or anything else, because if they do, and that dog that is already deemed unadoptable, dangerous, etc., does something, then you're liable. So it's not likely that the Humane Society would get them, put them up for adoption, and then she'd be able to go and say, here, I paid these vet fees, or this adoption fee, and then go out and advertise for herself to others and say, hey, here's this one. We need a home for it. The adoption fees have been paid. I raised the funds. I don't see where the continuum of this is. And maybe that's why she's trespassed from there and cannot go there. Maybe they saw her making these GoFundMes and the money there didn't add up, or they didn't want to be seen as being affiliated with her in any way. Excuse me. Because, of course, she wouldn't ask for a cent. She's so selfless. Well, they are paid by our tax dollars to pick these precious babies up. They've been aware for over a week that have been dumped. Doesn't say they. That have been dumped. They have simply ignored the problem. That's her writing, not my reading. I've been going out for the past few days, earning these dogs' trust, and by the luck of God, because she's so godly, Saint Michelle, I'll be rescued tomorrow. And that's literally what she wrote here. So if you're ever looking at a fundraiser and there are spelling errors, or it looks like the person doesn't speak English, well, it may be a scam. See, let me see here. Where are we at? I'll be rescued tomorrow. If not, we are going back Monday for the rest. I'm asking for not 1 cent of time or money I've invested. Why would I ask for $40 spent on food and treats? My main focus is that these healthy pups' adoption fees are covered, so they will be responsible for these precious lives. Don't see people. Rip Taylor. Touche Zeke. Okay. I've changed my fundraising goal. Probably because she needed more drugs. I've done this solely because I've decided beyond raising money to cover the pups' adoption fees, I've decided to donate 80% of funds raised beyond the pups' adoptions. I am donating the money to the Humane Society of Harris County. Well, I primarily did this, one, should do this in bullet point, but only with the one, to make sure the puppies' adoption fees were covered. I've decided to raise a little more, period. 20% will be held back for any other health issues the dogs may incur, period. If within 6 months after adoption there are none, not none, N-O-N, the rest will go to the Humane Society. I did this to save the pups, but also to ruffle some feathers. But the Humane Society is always in need of donations. So if you're pleased with my work, please make a donation. So, y'all catching this here? If you're pleased with Michelle's work, give her money, not the Humane Society. Okay? She's doing this to ruffle some feathers. Are we starting to see why she's trespassed from the society, the Humane Society? I had all kinds of theories as to why she was trespassed from the dog pound, but we'll just leave those out of this conversation for right now. Let's see here. This is not the first time I've done fundraising for them. Oh, I'm sure it isn't. And they will attest that the funds will be delivered to them. Oh, is that why they trespassed you and told you to F off? And why you just attacked another animal control? Or do they just call animal control when they have to go and try and round up Michelle? Feral Michelle. I'd really like to see even more dogs helped by me starting up this fundraiser. And then we go to the bold. It is time to do the right thing and get these pups safe and sound into loving homes. Thanks in advance, Michelle. Well, there you are. What are your opinions as to why she's trespassed from the Humane Society? Do you see her as someone doing God's work and being the pet whisperer, animal whisperer, dog whisperer. In her tiny little pea brain that's left, I have no doubt that she loves those dogs, but she's not able to responsibly take care of herself, let alone anything or anyone, and that's the truth. Thanks for listening.